Hello everyone, this is Pete Wall and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. Please hit that subscribe and like button. And this is the Polara Project. Now this is a new series I'm doing, and it is all about my son's 1968 Dodge Polara and the build that we are doing with it. So it ended up being a lot more work than I expected. Yes, we're in my laundry room at the moment, but because of the way I have to shoot the episodes that I'm doing, I have to do it like this. So I hope you don't mind. I'm going to be going through clips of what I've done, what's going on, and things that need to be done still. And I'm not going to show you everything in detail, what I'm going to be doing, because I have to use a cell phone video cam for now to do all the footage that we're doing. So basically I'll do clips of starting the project and then the end result, and I'll talk about the stuff I've used for it. Now I want to make things clear. I'm a simple backyard mechanic and I'm mainly a body guy, but this year I'm trying something new. So I've had to do body work with the car already. I'm not finished it all yet. There's still like Bondo work that needs to be done and stuff like that. But this year I'm also testing my skills with fiberglass. My son wants basically the entire interior fiberglass. Door panels, rear dashboard, the headliner, because it's already peeling off and everything. So we're going to do it in fiberglass, and we're also eventually going to rip out the front dash, and we're going to do the same with that. We're going to fiberglass it, or maybe even custom make our own dashboard for it, something new, something different for it. But all in all, I'm going to start the show like this every time, and then I'm going to hit a clip and get that ready for you, and let that play out. I'll come back and I'll talk a little bit more. I am going to apologize now for the footage. Not all the footage is the best. Like I said, I'm using a camera and a cell phone, and once I'm outdoors, I cannot see the screen of the cell phone. It is just, the brightness outside just kind of just makes it impossible to see what I'm shooting. I'm hoping to get a video camera to do it in a better way, and maybe that way I can have it on tripod while I'm working and show you what I do. I believe the first footage I'm going to pull up was from today. Now there is some spots that are kind of messed up because I couldn't get the right angle because of not being able to see, but it is basically giving you a walkthrough of the car. Now I've got a couple of footages of this. Some of it's better, some of it's from the winter time. So I'm going to cue that in now, let you see what's been done with the car in a little walkthrough, and we will go from there. See you in a couple minutes. Okay, I hope everyone can see me all right this time. Now I am at my shed at the moment. Sorry about that. And I wanted you to see my project. This is the Polara Project, so here we go. That is the front end. As you can see, the grill is gone. We're customizing the grill, and there's some old shitty body work that's getting redone. Got it up on blocks right now. I'm putting new tires on the damn thing. And if you look from the back here, you go right from here, and then we span all the way to the back here and to here, all the way up here and all the way down. This whole section here had to be cut out, redone, and that was done by hand. Now this is the interior. I got it full of crap right now. Working on it. We're customizing the interior, and if you can see the floor over there, the front floor pan had to be redone. It's not quite finished, but it is almost there. We ripped out the bench seats, and as you can see, we're going to 4 buckets, and I got to redo the rear dash customizing that. It's going to be made out of plywood and fiberglass. Got to close this back in, and then we're going to build a console between the back seats all the way up to the front dashboard. And our goal is, in the end, to redo the front dashboard as well. As you can see, the liner's off the roof. We're going to redo that, and we're going to be doing it with fiberglass as well. All the door panels, they're off because we're getting ready to do those as well. That is a project that you're going to be seeing very soon. Now, this is the back end. I've been thinking about customizing the rear tail lights. This whole section right here, the chrome, redo all of that. Just thinking about doing something different with it, but that is a later project. Now, as you can see, the gas tank is way down low in the bumper. That is the filler cap, and what we're planning on doing in the future is converting it and turning it so that way the gas tank cap is right here, kind of like the older Dodge Chargers. Now, close that door. If you look here, I'm hoping you can see it right from underneath the door where the Bondo starts, all the way up over here, all the way to the back. That whole quarter panel there had to be redone, and also was done by hand. I don't use any special tools, and it's hand and hammer and a lot of patience. Now I don't have my keys on me right now. I have to work on the trunk as well. I've got to put new floor in the trunk. This is fiberglass right here that you're seeing. I put that on during the winter time so that way had a little bit more protection. As you can see, I got to do a little welding here and fix that up, and gonna put brand new tires on the back as well. We're stripping off all the chrome. Gonna take down these little nubs if you can see them, as well as this chrome here we're leaving on because it looks good. Car's gonna be painted probably a charcoal gray or a flat black. We haven't quite decided, but with the grill, we're going to customize that fully. We're going to use the existing grill and cut out what we don't want and use fiberglass to shape it and give it a new look, a meaner look. So as you can see, this is the Polara. Now over here, you can see some spot welding over here, and that was we had to weld on the inner fender, put in new pieces, and where the jack is, this whole corner piece of the fender had to be replaced, also done by hand and hammer. I'm just hoping that the footage is clear. Now, it's got a 318 inner, runs great, and haven't had an issue with it yet, but I'm really hoping you guys can see this clearly. That is the 318. Give you an overall look. As you can see, I got to fix the wheel well as well. Got to replace that whole piece. This side is beautiful. This side looks brand new, just dirty. But the engine's in good shape. Rad's in good shape. Not sure if we're going to have to replace replace anything in here. I don't think so. Everything seems to be running good, so it is essentially a very good car. Now, I had people saying, leave the car as it is, leave the patina that's on it, and it's like, well, I had to cut out the whole rear quarter panel just to fix that side, and it's like, what's the point? So, and as you can see, if go back, that is not the original style for the rear quarter panel on the lower end. I replaced that all myself. There was not enough of the original fender to really save, and really nothing to go off of. So what I did was I used my imagination, and I wanted the car to have a little bit of a lower stance in the back, give it a little bit of a lower look. The original one, when I looked it up online, it was cut up a lot higher and it just didn't look pleasing to my eye. So this is the first show about the Polara. I'm just giving you little ideas of what we're doing. I'm sorry that the camera's so shaky. Fucking cell phone, and then, but yeah, eventually we want to put these on the back, Kragers. Beautiful Kragers. They're a little bit dirty, they need to be re-chromed. That's going to get done. But they're about 10-inch wide. Those are going to go on the back. The front, we've got the normal narrow Kragers for that, so that'll look good. Actually, over here, we had to replace part of the floor as well. You can probably only see a little bit of it, but it goes into the back as well. And I covered it with waterproof silicone, so that way no water could get back inside. And yeah, just this is the basic run through for the first episode of the show. And I'm going to go through step by step when we got door panels done and stuff like that. Now, so I can switch the phone off. There's one last look at the car as a whole. I hope it comes in clear. But I got to go to my shed. And I'm back. Now, I forgot to mention a couple of things on that part. And yes, like I said, the footage wasn't the greatest, but I do have better footage later on that I'm going to upload. Well, not upload, but show you in this episode. You'll be able to see more of what I've done with the car as well as how it was done. But what I forgot to mention, on the driver's side fender, the front fender, the wheel well area, it was all caved in. It had a long crease in. I had to, by hand, get that crease out. And I was able to get it to the point where you can't even notice it anymore. I hope you've seen it in that footage. Right around the wheel well itself, on the fender wall. It was a hard job. It took me days to get that crease out. It was ridiculous. I'm going to queue up some more footage. And I'm not sure. I think this is the winter, the one from this past winter. And shows you a little bit better of what I've done and how far we've come with the car. So let me put that up for you, and we'll move on after that. We're back again. This is my shed. As you can see, this is where I gotta go when I can't fucking see what's on the screen. So I'm gonna do this the best I can. I'm hoping you guys see everything. And if I am out of focus, well, I'm really sorry about that, but okay, so this is what I've done so far, and I'm really hoping you can see. But you see all that brown mud on there? That is a huge panel we had to replace and put new metal in. We cut about 3 feet out and about 1.5 feet, and we put new metal in there. And then if you look on the bottom, from the wheel well all the way to the back, we went and put new metal in. I shaped this all by hand and hammer. From the mud, where you see that white mud going all the way up around the wheel well, all the way to the back. Like I said, this was all done by hand and hammer and a MIG welder. A lot of work, a lot of painful work. As you can see, we've got snow out here. It's fucking wintertime. It's cold as hell. And now these are the Kragers we're going to be putting on it. So this is what the interior looks like right now. And if you now, as you could see, got a little bit clearer picture of the rear quarter panels that I had to replace. And like I said in the videos, that was all done by hand and hammer. Um, Everything I know about body work I've learned from my father. And he worked the same way. He shaped the metal by hand. If it needed a bend in there, it was a hammer in his hand and he'd work it out. Um, it is a pain in the ass when you don't have the right type of tools, but patience and some knowledge goes a long way. And body work, it always came a little bit easier for me to do. The very first car I had to do body work on was a 1977 Toyota Corolla. And I picked it up for 50 bucks, and I was 14 years old, and the rocker panels were shot. And I asked my dad, it's like, how do you fix that? And he looked at me, he goes, go grab some sheet metal over there. There's a pile of scrap sheet metal, some sizes that you can use, work it out. And the very first side I did, I was actually shocked at how close, like I went measurement for measurement and put the bends in where it needed to be and shaped it the way it was supposed to be, and it came out nice. It actually looked like it belonged on the car. However, I got cocky, and the other side, the rocker panel, I had to replace. It looked all right until you got to the rear of the rocker panel, and it started off the right size, and it came out to about an inch difference. So it looked ugly on one side and pretty damn good on the other. But that's the way I learned. It was, my dad telling me figure it out, and then later on he'd tell me everything I did wrong, and we'd rip off the work I did and we'd redo it and do it the proper way. Now the fiberglass on the rear quarter right now, that was just put on to protect the new metal from the elements. Everywhere where you see black in the car, that was replaced by me by hand. I had help with the welding. I'm not a good welder yet, right now. So I got my neighbor to come over. He's got a MIG welder, and he tacked everything on and worked things out. But all in all the hard work was done by myself. Now the next footage, I believe, was from I'm working on some of the interior work. So the first part is just me talking about the materials I'm using and I believe what I'm planning on doing. And it was shot in my basement, so if it's a little bit dark, I apologize. This is the first video. It's basically a walkthrough, what we're all doing, what's happening, and where we're going from there. So I'm going to cue that up now, and then I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Hello everyone, this is Pete Wall, and this is the Polara Project. I'm sorry I'm on a cell phone, but I don't have a camcorder at the moment, and let's see if we can get under some better lighting. I'm in my basement. This is where I do all my work. So I'm sorry if it's pretty dark. When I switch the camera back around, I'm pretty sure that the cell phone has a light, so it'll brighten things up a little bit. But for now, you get to see my face kind of in the shadows. What we're doing today is we are working on the rear dash of the 1968 Dodge Polara, and yes, that's my furnace right now, so you probably hear that. It's pretty loud. Like I said, we're working on the rear dash of the 68 Polara I bought for my son. He's turning 16 on April 19th, and we're going to make him a pretty bitchin' car. So what we're doing today is I've already cut out the rings I need for the sub and the 6x9s. Also cut out the new rear dash because the original one is torn apart and just shredded. So we needed something new to go into the car. And why not just modernize it a little bit and give them something new and something old, you know? Now what you're going to need, and this is what I've been using for now, and this is my first time actually working with this like fiberglass and resins and stuff like this. So please forgive me. I kind of lowered the phone there for a minute. But what I'm using and what you can use for the rear dash on these older cars is about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch plywood. And we're going to use MDF later on for the console build, but that's later on. And what you want to do is make sure you have a template of everything you are going to need. So like for your speakers, you're going to need your speaker rings. For your rear dash, you're going to need the original rear dash, unless you're really good at making one just eyeballing it, and most people are not. So keep the original one, use it even if it's wrecked. You can make sure you still get a good template out of it. And then you cut it out of this wood. So you're going to need a jigsaw, you're going to need 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch plywood, and you're going to need your templates for your subs and your 6x9s if you're going to use 6x9s. Now something I got to show you, and I'm going to turn this around so that way you can see the what I've done so far and how much I need to still go. But give me a second to switch this phone around. Now, we had to make some changes to the rear dashboard build. My son wanted a 12-inch sub in the middle of the rear dash, and me not thinking it through, didn't realize how narrow the dashboard really was and how close it was to the windshield. So we had to change those plans. We're going to have the 2 6x9s in there, and I believe he's decided on 2 5x8s in the center. And we're just going to build them up a little bit so there's a bit of a shape to it. Now, my other idea, and I think he's finally agreed to go with it, was instead of putting the 5x8s in on the rear dash, we're going to put them up front in the console. And the Dodge Ram symbol you see in the screen there, the red one, we are going to put the Dodge Ram emblem, make it out of wood, sand it down and everything, make it nice and rounded off. And when we fiberglass it, the rear dash, that's going to stand out and give it a kind of a 2D effect. So I think that's what we're going to go with in the end, because it is Dodge, and I'm a Mopar man. He's beginning to be a Mopar boy, so I love it, and give it a look. And that same Dodge Ram is going to be placed on the door panels, as well as when we put go to put the fiberglass on. We're also going to put stuff on the door panels to give it more of a shape. So that is our plans there, and I'm actually going to be starting to work on that very shortly, and I'm going to show you a little bit what I'm doing. Now, I've never, like I said in the video, I've never worked with resins, fiberglass, or fleece, so it's a whole new experience for me, and I'm actually enjoying it. I love working with new products that I have never worked with before, and to me it just ups my experience a little bit more and knowledge. And if I can make money doing it, well, that's fine. Now the next footage is a little bit of the rear dash, what we had planned out, and what later on we found out failed. So I'm going to cue that up and play that out, and then I'll come back, and it'll be the end of the very first episode of the Polara Project. So here we go. Alright, we're going to turn this around, and I don't know how to make the light go on, so I hope you can see this pretty clearly. I can through the screen here, but this is for a 6x9 speaker, and what we're going to do is we're going to have an angle like this on the dash. There's the edge of my dash, and if you see this dark line here, that's because I haven't finished cutting this all the way out. But I wanted to do this video now, so what we're going to do is we're going to raise these 6x9s up a little bit, and we're going to put it on an angle like this, so it's facing towards the front a little bit more, and give it a little bit more of a style and, you know, design for when we start laying the fleece and doing the resin and all that. The 12-inch sub, it does not actually fit on this narrow rear dashboard. That's okay. We're going to be the original door panel. And we're back. So, as you can see, there's no way that the 12-inch sub would even fit on there. That was a bad idea right from the start. But we did figure out what we're going to do. Now, we're building the console so it reaches right up between the back seats. And it's going to stick out a little bit so that way there's a little bit of separation there. And we're going to put a 12-inch sub, or even maybe both of them, the 12-inch subs, right between the rear back seats. It's going to be a very interesting build because I've never ever attempted to do this kind of stuff before. Now, the series will probably be a monthly upload, but I've always got new content coming on the channel every day. There's always wrestling content. There's always some kind of content, be it about my book, The Circle of Steel, merchandise, or what have you. But if you want to follow the build of the Polara Project, please subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and I will continue to update you on the way the car is coming along. Now, I ordered new tires for the front end, and they're supposed to be in tomorrow afternoon, so I'm going to put the tires on. I already checked the brakes, and the brakes are brand new. I was shocked, so I don't have to worry about changing brakes on the damn thing. I plan on changing shocks in the front and back. I think it needs it. It just makes it ride a little bit better, and I'm thinking maybe air shocks. That way, if he wants to raise the back end of the car up a little bit, he can, because eventually we are putting on the Kragers that you've seen in the back seat. I want to have the car on the road for around mid-May, and we're not going to do all the interior right away, but we're going to bolt down the seats and put in new seat belts and everything for safety, and because it's a must. And there's a lot of stuff that it still has to be done, but the customization part of it I'm going to do in increments, and I'm planning on doing a little bit every month. Like this month I'm going to finish off the rear dash and continue doing the body work that needs to still be done. Like I got to work on the trunk yet. Each side on the floor, there's about a foot I have to replace on each side of the trunk, so I got to do that for the safety check. I got to check all the brake lines to make sure all the brake lines are just perfect, and I got to change the training line. So all in all, it's a big project, but it's going to be an enjoyable project for me. So stick around, stick it out, and find out what's coming up next on the Polara Project. Like I said, the next thing in is the tires and the rear dash. I'm going to have to get that done. And I got to build the wall for the behind the back seats yet. And what I'm planning on doing, since we're putting the subs, the 12-inch subs between the rear seats, I'm going to do it so that way it's like a cannon going into the trunk. That way it's... I'm not going to hurt the fiberglass when he decides to crank his stereo. The stereo itself, I'm having a friend help me install it because I am a very bad electrician. Whatever I try and work on when it comes to electrical shit, I end up burning it out. So I'm going to have help with that, but for the most part, I'll be doing the work myself, and it's the way I like doing it. So, like I said, continue watching. I'm going to have updates every month about the car, and I'm going to try and have better footage for you next time. That way, when I talk about one section of the car, I'm actually focusing the phone or the camera on that part of the car. This time, it just did not work out my way, so I will see you next time. Thank you for joining me, and you have yourself a good day.